Yeah, YouTubers, Tazman here, bringing you another episode of Fantasy Grounds from the ground up. And we have been working on character creation, just going through all the different classes, races, and backgrounds. I mean, from the lists we have here, obviously we're probably going to loop on races before anything else. We're only doing the D&D Player's Handbook, races, classes, and backgrounds. So who knows, what well, sorry, not who knows. So to do the other types of books, where we're doing tabaxi or things like that based off other ones, we're not addressing those unless you guys have a real interest in doing so. But right now, we're just kind of learning the ropes of understanding how the character creation process goes, how to kind of create your own different components of it, and so on and so forth. So anyway, our last one was a gladiator monk halfling. This time we are going to be a guild artisan, it looks like, and we will be a paladin, and our halfling will now be a half-orc. So we are a Paladin Half-Orc. So we're going to go ahead and create a new guy called Paladin Half-Orc. Actually, I guess we do Half-Orc Paladin. Yes. So let's do that. HALFORC and PALADIN. Alright, so this will be our next guy. I think we have a decent looking half-orc. I don't like those ones as much. Let's do the smite work ones. They actually look pretty nice. I like these smite work ones. Do we see anything that even looks like a half-orc? I do not see one. We can pretend this guy is a half-orc. I don't know. All we need is just some kind of image to be our guy. Alright, so we can go ahead and close out this. And we will go ahead and do that. Alright, so now we can close out these. And we can open these. So as our background, do that. Do that. Do that. Although I'm going to bring these up because we will want the whatchamacallit, the items and a paladin. Actually, as a level 1 paladin, we do not have any spells, so this will actually go pretty easy, pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and address this guy. So let's move this over here while we do our rolls and see if we can get a decent paladin. Our last few have not been that great, so we're going to go ahead and do 6 rolls. So we'll go 1, 2, a little better, 3, okay, 4, now we're cooking, 5, and 6. Ugh. 2 10s. So yeah, that's not so. I mean, it's okay, I guess. I mean, it's gonna give us a character. We don't have anything that's a negative, so that's a positive. Let's go look at our quick build because I believe I always forget what the main abilities are. So this quick build is it's in the book as well, is invaluable if you ask me. So you can make a paladin quickly by following these suggestions. First, strength should be your highest, followed by charisma as a second. And it says choose noble. We're not choosing noble. So we want strength and then charisma. So charisma is our spellcasting modifier. So if we want strength as our primary, that would be the 16. Actually, let's go ahead before we do that. We will go and put our background in here. With our background in there, we need to do this, and we can go ahead and nope, actually we can't, because we have to do this, and now we can do that. So go here. So with our background of being a guild artisan, we get insight and persuasion. So we don't want that one, and we don't want that one. So as a paladin, we can do medicine, religion. I'm gonna say paladins. I always imagine being kind of religious, and maybe athletics, which is their strength type of checks. I think that would be good. Insight's already taken. Intimidation, not so much. Medicine could also be in there. But yeah, I think we're going to go with those. And there we go. And then finally, we have our race, which is a half-orc. And I don't think there are any sub-races, just half-orc. So we'll go ahead and grab that guy and put it on race. And now we have our things. So if we come back up to here, we can see we want charisma as our secondary, which isn't even, it was charisma, right? Yeah, charisma and strength. So we are going to go ahead and put our 16 here, which turns it to an 18. That's actually really good. Although, because that means our next one could only be a 15. And then a 14. So what if we could probably get more if we actually did the 14 here plus the 2 is 16. Then we could do the 15 here, which is 16. And then we could actually have our charisma be the 16. And we don't have a stellar strength, but I think that's okay. And I think I like that idea. Then we have a 10, 12, and a 10. So the next thing, I'll probably put the 12 in our decks, just to give us a little bit, make us a little harder to hit. Our intelligence and our wisdom will be those 10s, which it's not negative. I know I've mentioned this many times, just because it gives you a +0, that means you're kind of on average with everybody else. Below average would be your negative numbers. Above average is your positive numbers. So a 0 is kind of the common human being, or the common, in this case, half-orc. So, you know, it's not overly good, but it's not overly bad either. Alright, so now that we have that, we can figure out our hit dice. So our hit dice, that looks like, is it 1d10? Sure is. And look, we even rolled a 10. So that's 10 plus Arcon, so that is 13. Not terrible, not super good either. And I think, does that complete this page? Because we don't have anything else. I believe that does. So let's, our skills are all good. And our abilities. Okay, so as a paladin, we get Divine Sense, which is the presence of strong evil registers with you. So this might have, and this definitely seems more roleplay. You use this feature a number of times equal to 1 plus your charisma modifier. Although it does seem to have an actual value in there. So we're going to go ahead and leave that there for now. Guild membership. This sounds like it's completely roleplay stuff. Yeah, that's completely roleplay, saying that when you come into a city, you can rely on certain benefits that membership. So being a member of the guild makes it so that you get certain benefits. Then the lay on hands here, that is definitely going to be something that is a class feature that we might do something with. Menacing, this is an orc racial trait. You gain proficiency in the intimidation skill. You'll notice that we actually already had the, oh man, did our guild artisan, what else gave us the, oh, it was insight and persuasion, but it already gave us the intimidation when we did the work, so we're good there. That might be a good reason to do the class last, because you might actually have racial traits that do that. So we don't need anything there, so we're good. Relentless endurance. This might actually be one that we do a spell type of power for. When you're reduced to 0 hit points but not killed outright, you can drop to 1 hit point instead. You can't use this feature again until you finish a long rest. So that's actually pretty cool. Although it's only going to take 1 more hit and you're gone. And then we also have Savage Attacks, which is when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon attack, you can roll 1 of the weapon's damage dice 1 additional time and add it to the extra damage of the critical hit. So that is saying when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon or a melee weapon attack, you can roll 1 of the weapon's damage dice 1 additional time. So if you're doing 1d6 damage, you get to do 2d6 damage, plus if you use the rules I do where you max out that first one for the crit. So that means technically you're doing 2d6 plus 6. Not too shabby. And then any modifier you have on top of that. So in the Paladin's case, that would be a plus 3. Not too shabby. And then let's see. So 1 additional time added to the extra damage. So that seems like it's any time. That's not just a one-time use and then you have to take a rest. That's pretty cool, actually. So let's go look. Our armor, we have all armor and shields. For tools, we get a artisan tool. Artisan tools, are they listed in here? I thought one type of artisan tools. I think they're in here, so we could actually come to our tools link. And what kind of artisan are we? Are we an alchemist, brewer, calligrapher, carpenter, cartographer, cobbler, cook, glassblower, jewel, leatherwork, mason, painter, potter, smith, tinker, weaver? I'm going to say smith. Let's go ahead and can I actually highlight that? No. So we'll go ahead and say Smith's Tools. S-M-I-T-H apostrophe S-T, whoops, T-O-L-S, whoops, S. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that. What would I say Smith's tools are? And there's always the knowledge of how to use them, but then there's the skill, which I usually kind of bounce towards being your dexterity. I'm going to go ahead and do that with this. So we'll go ahead and say this is our Smith's tools using dex. I could also see it being maybe intelligence, because you understand how to use it. But a lot of times it seems like dexterity, knowing, I don't know. we're just going to go with dex. So there we go, +3. Even so, I mean, even if we went, say, with intelligence, it's only going to go down 1. We'll do that. I guess you'd need to know, you know, like if you're pounding and blacksmithing some metal, you'd need to know, I guess, how long to do it. It's not necessarily a dexterity part in that, but you know, forming it and stuff could be dex. I don't know. It could be argued anyway. We're gonna go ahead and just do int, I guess, because you need the know-how on how to do it. Weapons, we have simple and martial, so that's basically all weapons. We have common, orc, and one of our choice. As a paladin, I think celestial. Celestial. So I think that takes care of that. All right, let's go ahead and add our copper pieces, silver pieces, electrum pieces, which we don't use really, gold pieces, and the platinum pieces. So let's go ahead and start looking at what this actually gives us. So items. So equipment, we get a set of artisan's tools, so that's smithing tools, which are right here. We might as well grab them from here. We have smith's tools. And there's items right there. Alright, so we have smith's tools. We also get a letter of introduction from your guild. So maybe like a introduction letter. So PAPER. Maybe a sheet of paper. And then we'll just call this would it be intro, a letter of introduction. Yeah, I guess. INTRO, intro to guild, LETTER. Alright, so there's our letter that introduces us to the guild and says, welcome. We have a set of traveler's clothes, so we could go TRAVELERS, travelers, TRAVEL, let's try that. Oh, I didn't have the apostrophe S. Go ahead and do that. And a pouch. So let's go ahead and give us a pouch. POUCH. So here's our little pouch. And it has 15 gold. Everything seems to have 15. I think Noble's the only one that gets an additional amount in there. And so that kind of takes care of that. We've done all this before. What are we? We're at 17 minutes, so we're not going to actually roll our traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws in this episode. But as you know, that all goes here. Being a paladin, I think he would probably be lawful good. He's by the book, follows the law, and is overall good. So we'll do that. This is where you'd put your other traits. And I think that will take care of that. I think I'm going to keep that up just because last time I thought we had to come back to it. Alright, so next, with our paladin, we have a martial weapon, or two. Oh, and a shield or two martial weapons. I think I'm going to lean towards having a shield and a martial weapon. So, our shield right here. Oops, we gotta go to the right page. To inventory. Alright, grab a shield and a martial weapon. So if we come in here and look at our martial weapons, we need something that's only one-handed. So if it says two-handed, we can't use it. Versatile is actually good because we can use it one or two-handed. So we'd have to put down our shield to use it in a versatile way. However, I mean, as an orc, I could see the battle axe, of course. Paladin, usually I see them like with a war hammer or a mace. I'm gonna give him a battle axe. I kind of like the idea of that. So we'll give him a battle axe. Go and close that out. 5 javelins, or any simple melee weapon. What are our simple melee? Oh, we have to come back in here again. Simple melee actually are javelins. Maybe this is where he'll have his hammer. That's where his mace is. Although there's even a mace. Should we do a mace instead? I think so. Let's go ahead and get rid of the light hammer. We'll do a mace. There we go. We might have to... Nope, it did it. Good. So there we go. We have that. Then we also have a priest pack or an explorer's pack. Let's go look at a let's do pack. So here we have burglars, diplomatic. Maybe if I set this to just be player's handbook, we won't get so many things. So the priest pack, we get a blanket, 10 candles, tinderbox, alms box, 2 blocks of incense, censer, vestments, 2 days of rations, and a water skin. Explorer's pack is the standard one, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, water skin, 50 foot of hempen rope on the side, a bedroll, mess kit, and a tinderbox, 10 torches. I think we're just going to go with the Explorer's pack. Explode. And then, of course, we also get chainmail as our armor. So we come in here, actually, and do a chainmail, which is our heavy armor. And we also have a holy symbol, which I believe we can get in the adventuring gear. Yeah, there's the druidic. Here's the holy symbol. Let's have an emblem on like our shoulder. We have an emblem of our holy order. And I think that takes care of that. So now we can actually tell it to load up spells. Oh, I forgot. I did it again. I forgot a healing potion. H-E-A-L-I-N-G. Healing potion. Potion healing. Go ahead and do that. There we go. Now we're done with those. Alright, so because we're running a little shorter on time, we're at 22. I try and keep these around 20 minutes, and we're a little bit over. We're not going to go add all the standard actions. If you want to know how to do that and the information on that, definitely go check out my first at least 2 videos. I think I go into actually all that stuff. So if we come in here, we can go and look at class features. And this is your standard actions right here. Just for those of you who don't know, I'm using Rob Tui's coding effects. They make life a little easier. You can do all this stuff without the coding effects. All you have to do is kind of understand the coding and effects, which I believe like video 2, 3 or something like that, we kind of go into that. So I'm not going to go deep into that. So as a class, we are a Paladin. So we're going to come all the way down to Paladin. And we will see which of these things we actually have. So we have lay on hands and divine sense. Right? Lay on hands and divine sense. So if we come, there's divine sense right here. And since it says it's cantrip, we're going to change this to say it is class, a feature of a class. Go ahead and do that. We can get rid of the spells one. And we don't need to have the paladin part at the beginning because we know what it is. Now, if you wanted to code this yourself, which just says know the location of any fiend undead, this, for example, is just something that you cast on yourself to remind you of what is going on. But you can actually see here that this first section right here is the description, and then after that comes the ability, the condition. And in this case, there are no conditions, so it's just basically using this whole thing as the information. The duration on this says it's 1 round. So what you could do is you cast this on yourself, because this only lasts one time, and then you have to take a long rest, remember. So it's targeted on yourself, and it doesn't expend. So once you take a long rest, it will come back, and that's all you need for that. So what you would do in game is, if this were on combat and this were on actions, I could just simply come click this and say I'm casting Divine Sense. Once you've done that, then you need to check this off, this little button here, which will hide it from combat mode. Now if you go back to standard, you can actually see it again because it's not used. So that's kind of how that works. So that's our Divine Sense. Let's go ahead and see. There should be a Lay on Hands, I believe. There's Lay on Hands right there. We'll go ahead and drag that, put it on top of the class features, and it will automatically put it in there. Once again, we can go ahead and get rid of that. Now, this is one that you need to kind of keep track of. As you can see, this is kind of confusing, because what it's saying here is you have 5 of them, and each one does 1. I'm not sure this is really the best way to code this. There might be a better way. But basically, what your Lay on Hands is your pool of healing. If you read in here, I believe it says you have a pool that is based off of 5, is it your Paladin level times 5. So here you can see they did 5, which would mean if you're going to do level 2, then technically you would have to come in here and add 5 more. Like I said, I'm not 100%. I might kind of address this more like I would good berries. You know, that way I could just simply change in preparation how much it does, and it's not actually going to heal. In this case, if I do heal, because each of these are 1, it's going to heal for 5. But I'm allowed to select how much I'm actually giving on that. I don't have to give that entire up to, I don't have to give the maximum. So this might not be coded exactly as I would do it. I might do something else, like have it just heal 1, and then have it have how many times you can do it, as a kind of like I would like Goodberry. If you've ever seen, I think I've done that before with a druid explaining that. So that's how I would probably do that. So there are those two. Let's go ahead and go, whoops, we can be in standard and summary so we can see everything. All right, so I think that kind of handles those. Next, we'll go ahead and go look at the racial traits. So Paladin really isn't a race, so we need to go to Half-Orc, and that is race. So as you can see here, we do have Relentless Endurance, so we'll go ahead and drag that one over. It will get rid of the Half-Orc part of it, because we already know we're Half-Orc, and we will call this RACIL and TRAITS. And as you can see, Relentless Endurance is the one that when we hit 0, we just hit heal and it takes us to 1 point. You'll notice here that it's not a dice or anything, it's just 1 point. So that's all it's going to heal us up, is just to 1 point. And if we click off that and click else, why didn't that change? I'm not exactly sure why that one didn't change. Usually if you change that, it gets rid of this. That's okay. Well, it could just be kind of a glitchy thing going on right now. And then our savage attacks, this would definitely be something to remember, because you actually would do it based off of, when you get a critical hit. and then you just remember, oh yeah, I get to roll an extra uh, die for my damage. So that's pretty cool. So there we go with that. Is that pretty much everything? With 30 minutes, not too shabby, I guess. I think that is. So there we go. There is our Half-Orc Paladin, who doesn't look like a Half-Orc at all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, and if you're enjoying these class creation, if you want to know more or specific other types of classes, I've been thinking of what else we could do. I don't want to go through, say, every single class and level them from 1 to 20, because there's so many different branches you can do. Like, once you, with a cleric or whatever, you choose your divine domain and all this other stuff that really can branch out in different directions. So, I mean, if there's any specific things, feel free to leave that in the comments below, and I will definitely look into addressing it. After we get done with these character creations, I have some ideas on what I want to address next, but I would love to hear from you guys. What would you guys like to see next with Fantasy Grounds Unity? So leave those down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. And don't forget, my Great Big Game giveaway has come to fruition. However, right now, I think there's about 70 or so people on my Discord. 57 of those 71, and only about 8, I think, have claimed their prize. If by August 5th they haven't claimed their prize, then they're out of that pool, and the people that didn't get selected, they get a chance for probably another 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or whatever, to select a prize. Then if they don't choose a prize, then the prizes will all go back into my inventory as a pool, and I will probably work on getting rid of them through giveaways through my channel over months, maybe monthly, I don't know yet. So it's not too late. Go join my Discord channel, because in the B round here, right now there's probably only about 7 people that will be able to choose from around 50 games or so. And if you join my Discord, basically you can get a free game if you're paying attention. That's it. So I've rambled on long enough, so until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.